Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. Today we're looking at the Untitled Mages for Season 26. This is a Necro build. Primarily it is for doing GR90 as fast as possible. That's obviously great because it means we can collect more of these Petrified Screams, we can do more Echoing Nightmares and get some more Paragon. I haven't tested this build on Echoing Nightmares yet. I suspect it will get absolutely squashed because Necro is unfortunately quite squishy. But GR90 is absolutely no problem. Bounties are very fast with this. Keys are very fast. We'll talk about how to build it. It's not that hard to put together. But yeah, before we jump into it, as always, thumbs up brightens my day. And this is the first Necro video of the season, the first Necro video in a little while. Now, why play mages? Well, one, I just love Necro. I think it's fun. Two, I've seen a lot of players over the last couple of seasons get really burnt out by basically just playing Inner Monk wall to wall, either Gears of Dreadlands Demon Hunter, then when they buff the Inner Monk, wall to wall Inner Monk, and there's a lot of players who I see who get like 2k Paragon, 3k Paragon, maybe even higher in a season, and then they're just done. They're so burnt out because they've just played the same build over and over again. So I personally like to vary things up. I like to do, different things. So I've been using mages for keys pretty much all season because it's very powerful for keys and it can be done very, very quickly. You don't need terribly much to get it going. I've recently transitioned onto doing this solo rat build because I want to build up my Necro gear. A few reasons. One, I want to play Trash Clear Poison Sleuth, and obviously I'm going to need Necro gear to do that. You can just simply run bounties and reforge stuff, but bounties are a bit shit. They're a bit boring. You need a lot of mats, and realistically, it's just going to be faster, I think, to find the gear. Two, as I said earlier, this is going to be fantastic for Screams because the average rift is under 2 minutes. And if I have a look at my best time so far, and I've only really been playing it for a couple of hours, 1:39, and I know I can do a little bit better than that at some point. We just need a nice map. Bounties, again, it will prevent a little bit of boredom. You can do bounties on Inner Monk with the raiment setup very fast. You can do them on the Gears of Dreadlands Demon Hunter very fast. You can do them on Witch Doctor. They are very fast on that as well. But if you want to do a Necro setup, by all means, you can do. Now, I am also interested in playing Rathma. To be honest, I kind of spat my dummy out a little bit with Rathma. On the PTR, when it first came out, it was fantastic. They changed it, and I was so pissed off with the change because it made it feel like shit, basically. I haven't played it for more than about 5-10 minutes. I will get that done this season. I'm going to collect up ancient pieces, augment the mouse, and go for it. I'm probably also going to go back to Bone Spear again since they nerfed that. Really disappointing nerf. I haven't played it because I know it's going to feel awful in comparison, but I will get that done at this point, at some point in the season. Right, okay, that's enough Necro selling. How does this build work? Let's start, I guess, with the 90 build, actually, because that's maybe the one worth explaining, and we can talk about what we're stripping out for T16 and Bounties. Necro Mages always works on max essence. You want max essence everywhere you can. I'm missing it on my site. You can get it here as a secondary. You can get it here on your offhand as a secondary as well. We're actually taking the Stone of Jordan, so again, if you get a Necro one of these, it will have max essence on it. In the passives, we've got the Overwhelming Essence for the max essence. And the last source is, if I can find the P key on my keyboard, is max essence in your Paragon. Now, the reason we want max essence is because we've got Raelian and Shadowhook, so more essence is more damage, and also we get the Singularity rune on our Reseth Volition shoulders, so that will basically empty the essence when we cast the mages, and they do mucho damage. Mages, generally speaking, is Circle Ring, so this gives us extra mages, and they last longer, which is nice. Really easy item to get. You just make yourself a level 1 Necro, and it can go in the cube. Haunted Visions is the really hard thing to start this build off. This is the key to all of it, really. I mean, it's not mega essential. You can play mages without it, but this will basically mean the Simulacrum will last forever. It will drain your life when you pop it. So if you pop it, that's the wrong key, isn't it? If we pop it, our essence is doubled, and it will drain our life We're generating globes at the moment because I've pressed the wrong button. But yeah, in general, your life will slowly wilt down with the haunted visions. But the sims last forever, and because of the rune on them, which is a reservoir, we get double essence, so that's double damage, which is pretty good. Scyther Cycle is essential, 400% damage on secondary skills. We just need bone armor active at all times. And eventually you're going to work your way onto a Crispin Sentence as a Necro. 100% damage when you slow stuff. The slow is covered by the Bane of the Trapped in a short radius, or a hard CC with either the Land of the Dead freezing everything, or bone armor dislocation against stun, hard CC. Until you get a Crispin's, conventional elements will be absolutely fine here. And similarly, until you get a Haunted Visions, you can do a Squirts, which will be double damage. Much harder to play, simply because whenever you get hit with the Squirts and you take incoming damage, the bonus drops off, but it will get you there whilst you go. Goes probably without saying, but we'll mention it anyway. This is a Legacy Dreams build, so obviously we need ancient items, which does sound like a bit of a pain, but we will, again, when we do the T16, I'll show you how to set it up easily. But yeah, more ancient items is more damage. You obviously want the gem at rank 99. We've still got a couple to go. Resist Volition. This is actually really easy to get ancient. I just have had bad luck. And the Circle Ring. This is going to be quite hard to get either this or a Crispin's, which is nice. But yeah, the rest of them are not too bad. What else have we got? We've got some damage coming from the Enforcer Gem. We've got some damage coming from the Trapped. We've got some damage coming from Swampland Waders. Blackthorn's Pants work exactly the same now. You just basically want the elemental damage. Match it with your Stone of Jordan. You can do cold, you can do poison, you can do physical. Any of those three on the Necromancer is fine. So just make sure you're matching that with Bracer and Amulet. But Blackthorn's obviously very easy to get. Even if you're playing a monk, you can easily get yourself a cold pair of, or cold or physical pair of Blackthorns. Just reroll the main stat, no problemo. Necro offhand, for this build, anything will be fine. You just kind of really are looking out for Skeletal Mage damage. You're looking out for crit chance. Same for the Helm. We've got a Leorix for extra cooldown so that we can have a bit more Land of the Dead. Again, crit and Skeletal Mage can go on here, and then Skeletal Mage goes on your boots. We like the Stewart's Greaves because after teleporting, we can run around super fast. We've got the Taskin Theo, again, very easy item to find. Any kind of class will do, just reroll the main stat to Intelligence. I mean, you might find a nice one with like cooldown, double crit, and a nice juicy mod on the secondary for like up to 50%. These are pretty crap, but they're just what I've found so far. In terms of essence generation, we've got the Requiem Cereplate, so whenever we consume a corpse, which we've got it on auto because we're very lazy, this will give us essence, which is nice. We've got the Reaper's Wraps, and when we pick up the health globes, we get essence. It is on an internal cooldown now, 2 seconds, which is shit, but it is something that they've done to nerf rat runs. I really think they should just undo this now. I mean, with the Inner Monk crushing 110 4-player speeds, what's the point in nerfing rat runs? It's quite hard to find a good rat group these days because most people can't be bothered. It's a mess we've had for a while, so I think this is a change that probably should get reversed. Right, any other items? Witching Hour is just here for more damage. Again, you can find this on any class. You just need to re-roll the main stat. Crit damage is the most important stat on here. The attack speed, don't worry too much about it. I think, is that everything? Probably. Ooh, we've got an Aquila Cuirass here in the cube as well, actually. So we get 50% damage reduction on the Reseths if we're not at max essence. So as soon as we pop our mages, whoosh, the essence goes down. We're now getting 50% damage reduction. But just if it happens that we get full essence, well, the AQ will cover that. And we will get damage reduction 50% all times. Either way, doesn't matter what is happening with our essence pool, basically. So if we run over that globe, as you can see, 30% essence. It is pretty nice. Let's have a little look-see at the skills. Simulacrum Reservoir we've done. Mages, because we get the Singularity Rune, we're going to take life support. They last a little bit longer. They do cost health, but we get a lot of health back, so that is fine. Devouring Aura, this gives us like a radius. This is great for T16, the lazy version, because it does go up with your pickup radius, which is cool. You can put Cannibalize on for the extra health regen if you need. You can do Satiated for increasing your maximum life. You will have to numlock either of those so that you don't have to perma spam it. That's why I go Devouring Order, because I am lazy. Dislocation procs the stun, and we need the bone armor for the mages. Blood Rush Molting, we leave a corpse, it can be consumed, it's got a chance of giving us a health globe because of the life from death passive. So whenever we consume corpses, we get like I think it's a 1 in 5 chance of a health globe. Land of the Dead Frozen Lands, this just freezes the screen, activates the Crispins for huge damage. Overwhelming Essence, more damage. Dark Reaping is our source of sustain, 2% life and essence per kill. So as we kill stuff, life flies up and essence flies up. Fueled by Death gives us a extra move speed, 30%, provided we're devouring corpses. So the idea is that we wipe the screen, and yeah, that's how we go. Now I said it's not that bad to set up. Obviously the ancient items do help, but ideally you're going to put the Requiem in the cube, and again you're just going to get any AQ off any class that is ancient. You just re-roll the main stat to intelligence and you'll be fine. Super easy to get any class, goes in the cube from level 1. Reaper's Wraps are of course craftable, physical and crit on them is beneficial. Leorix, any class, re-roll the main stat, provided you get one with 6% crit. Tasker and Theo, any class. Stone of Jordan, any class. So you've really only got your modifiers of the Shadow Hook, 1 in 4 upgrades in the cube, really easy. Scythe of the Cycle, 1 in 4 chance upgrading sides in the cube, very easy. You're going to roll shards for the Seraplace, but you stick it in the cube as soon as you get it. Shards on Resist Volition, this will pop out very quickly. So really, you've only kind of really got to worry about your Crispins and your Haunted Visions. And as we say, COE and Squirts will get you going, certainly for T16. So let's go do a 90. And I will actually say, before we set off, a slower version that is much tankier if you're worried about dying, is to basically forget cooldown. Still take all the same skills, but forget cooldown and just pump yourself full of vitality. This will give you a huge life pool. It's like an extra 60% worth of toughness. And because of the way the Dark Reaping works with the life per kill, you're just getting even more value out of that for healing. So this is a little bit slower, but it's much, much safer. So I guess we'll show you the risky setup. So yeah, we start off, activate the Sims, pop the Land of the Dead, get the bone armor up, dump out the mages, and then that's it. We are off to the races. And all we're doing basically is whenever the essence bar goes full, we are simply emptying it just to get another fresh set of mages at max damage out. Obviously shield pylon is amazing, cooldown pylon is amazing, power is amazing. Condi is actually not amazing. I mean, it's still good, but it's probably, I'd rather have the others, just simply because we don't like standing in stuff as the Necro, because it is still a little bit squishy. But as you can see, we do vaporize everything, which is nice. So it's a nice, basically just teleport, run around really fast. The mages will wipe the screen for you, and if you get nice maps, there we go, cooldown perfect. And we're just waiting for the mages to wipe the screen for us, which is lovely jubbly. This is a nice one. Nice map for the video. We always like Land of the Dead again. And it's good for collecting up Necro pieces, because 90 is obviously the cap for items, so we can get a lot very fast. And 90 is also the cap for the Screams to pop out, which again is nice. We have gone for cheap death on the follower, so we have activated that in that run, so you can do the vitality setup for a bit more toughness. Excuse me. Try not to cough. And there we go, proof of concept. We get a key. Lucky us. Right, so that, yeah, rinse and repeat. We beat our best time, 1:32. Not bad. Obviously this season we do have access to a lot of augments, so the gear is augged, so we do have the jubbly 17,000 main stat, But in general, if you're doing this on a season without access to super augments, you can build up your pool of gems up to 80 very fast using this build. Right, so let's have a little look at the T16 build. We'll talk about what has changed. We're going to go for gold wrap just simply to avoid the headache for any toughness issues. Again, Boon of the Hoarder always is just brilliant. The gold wrap again can be found on any class. This is a monk one. We've just simply re-rolled to get the intelligence on it. I've actually got Leoric's crown with the broken crown here. The broken crown does emanate, but if I want to play bounties, I tend not to change the setup. And again, this was just ancient and it had skeletal mage damage on. So I think ideally you would have Leoric's crown on the character, and then you would have the Requiem Cereplate in the cube, and you would maybe take something like a where is it, gold skin to get a bit more gold find if you wanted. It begins with G, doesn't it? EFG, where is it? Gold skin, there we go. This rolls with 100% gold find on it, so it is kind of a nice item. But if you're not that bothered about gold find, I know a lot of people aren't, you've basically got yourself a nice free slot here, and pretty much anything could go in it. Illusory boots you could do if you wanted to just move around without being interrupted. You could take your AQ again if you wanted to make sure that you weren't, reduce your chances of being one shot if you don't have your gold wrap up. You could do gloves of worship if you're not doing them on the follower, because you might be running, say, a rogue and a cane setup. You could swap your elements to cold on all of your stuff and go for frostburns for a bit more damage. You could do firewalkers for opening doors and then ditch the bone spikes sudden impact. In the T16 we drop the Land of the Dead, and we do run the bone spikes just simply because opening doors is a pain on Necro Mages, and if you do have bone spikes, well, that problem is solved. You could do a Krelm's buff belt to get a bit more move speed, so that could go in the cube potentially. So there's absolutely tons you can do, and a lot of people use hexing pants to increase resource and damage whilst moving. I don't like them because I get it sounds stupid, I get a little stressed when I play with hexing pants because I just feel like if I ever stand still, I feel like I'm not getting the benefit. But again, that's a perfectly good shout in the solo build as well. I found a nice pair of Swampland Waders and I've orged them, so we are where we are with it, I guess. But yeah, I think there's they're kind of some of the options that you can go for. T16 is obviously a breeze. I guess we'll go and show a very quick rift, and this again is kind of how I'm doing my keys and have been for a little while. So it's the same concept. Pop the sims. You want to get your bone armor up, and then you want to basically pump out your mages, and then this is it. You just run around really fast. The killing generates all of the essence back for you, and yeah, it's pretty good. Now, one thing I should say again, conventional elements probably on average works out a little bit more damage. Well, probably a decent amount more damage, but I tend to avoid it because when I'm doing my necro, I'm generally just chilling out. I find mage is actually quite chill to play. Again, maybe a bit more so on the max vitality setup, but the Stone of Jordan just makes it very smooth because we're not getting big damage spikes on the convention cycle. We're just literally getting the extra damage the whole way. And I should also have said when we were talking about the mechanics, whenever we cast the mages, the bone armor does get reduced in duration, but it's not too hard to keep it up. That's what she said. Yeah, for bounties, actually it's pretty decent. I probably would stack a lot of vitality for bounties just to stop yourself from getting one shot. Again, a nice Krelm's, which I haven't found a Krelm's buff belt this season yet, which is nice. Would be a good addition to that, because we're not going to take gold wrap for bounties because that's a bad idea, basically, because bosses will give us a little bit of a problem. But it's important to run a similar setup to this in the bounties because you don't want to be relying on Land of the Dead for bounties, because some of the bosses have got like interrupts. it'll take you through, like Diablo, Malthael, they'll take you through screens, Urzeal as well, so you don't really want to be hoping for Land of the Dead to save you, because it doesn't last that long. But yeah, this is always something I set up early in the season because I just love playing the Necro. I like building Legacy of Dreams stuff. It's not the fastest key build. I mean, this is a particularly shit map for it. And of course it gets worse. I swear, if I look back at every T16 video guide I've ever done, I'm probably fairly sure we've travelled around the Shrouded Moors. Blizzard, please take this tile set out of T16. Extremely rubbish. But I mean, out of all the builds for it, it's probably not too bad because we're not relying on in-game. So, you know, if we don't find any elites, it's not the end of the world. We've got a lot of move speed in, so not too bad. And the mages, again, I've got this kind of nice AoE clear, like they'll be clearing all these enemies at the edge of the screen for us. It's not, you know, in a monk, obviously you get the lovely, you can do the infinite teleport for keys, but yeah, the fact that the screen gets wiped, I think is a pretty decent advantage of the mages. That's T16, that's how we get our keys. I've got my follow just set up for T16, so Sages, double DBs because I have been running a little low, and Canes for the extra keys. Once I stop running low on DBs, I will get Gloves of Worship on here, and obviously I would do a different setup for pushing when I do get around to that. Broken Crown emanates, Flavor Time emanates, Nems and Homing Pads emanate, and obviously the gain all access to skills because we're using the Enforcer gem, which obviously the Enchantress does love. Now, a good tip for gearing up a Necro is whenever you find yourself a scythe, stick it in the cube and upgrade it, because there's two that are really useful for the Necro: Scythe of the Cycle and the Tragul's Corroded Fang. So we've got a 50-50 chance. When we do get a primal, eventually we will get a primal. 50-50, it's going to be a usable one. The Jesseth is used in a lot of builds as well. I've got a primal one of those, so I'm really gunning for the Tragul's Corroded Fang or the Scythe of the Cycle. Yeah, so I guess 3/4 chance of a usable primal. Funerary Pick is what I'm going to get. I just know I'm going to get a Funerary Pick. That's just how life works. In terms of bounties, it's pretty similar. It's kind of like a blend between the two, I guess. We're dropping the Land of the Dead again because we want the bone spikes for opening doors. And then we've actually just pumped the vitality because we're only essentially clearing 81. GR 81 is about the equivalent of a T16 4-player bounty, and yeah, we just want to be quite tanky. So I guess we'll just really quickly jump on this. Everything else pretty much is kind of the same. We're not really changing terribly much. But again, activate the simulacrum, then we go for bone armor, then we put the mages out. And you should hopefully see that this is very tanky because we only have to like kill stuff, and it really does start helping us out with the life. Now, I haven't got the Boon of the Hoarder in this setup. If you want the Boon of the Hoarder, you know, we obviously have got plenty of damage here, so if you want to take out, say, the Bane of the Trapped for it, you can do. You could just run the T16 setup and ignore the bosses if you want. That's always an option on Necro. But yeah, this is absolutely fine for bounties. Obviously, you don't get the benefit of the pylons, but I think you get the idea. Would this be my #1 bounty pick? No. I would certainly do the Inner Monk with the Raymonds, the Infinite Teleport one. I quite like Gears of Dreadlands actually for bounties because that's very chill again. You know, put some Crimsons on, take a Yang's recurve. But if you are getting a little bored of playing those two Dex classes, which have been extremely dominant now for about 3 seasons, I think, then this is a nice alternative. I'm going to try. I've been playing a little bit of Legacy Dreams Dagger of Darts for bounties. That's not very good. I kind of thought it would be a little better than it actually is. So I am trying to gear up Mundanugu just to give that a little bit of a whirl. But, you know, there we go. So that would be a boss. Bush completely annihilated. I mean, to be fair, we did have the... Did we have the speed pylon? Yes, we had the speed pylon. But, you know, a T16 4-player bounty boss, you're going to melt them. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. So that is mages. This is how I'm powering up my Necro, trying to look for good items, just trying to have a bit of fun doing something a little bit different. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been the Filthy Casual. Take it easy, guys. Peace.